All right. Hello, my name is Zeke Torres, and thank you for joining us once again for a PROC Gossip. And today's is actually a little bit different. It's about trainers and what users who need to study or learn should expect from trainers. So I want to welcome my guests today. They are Sumayya Asraf, Verma, and Kiran Venna. Everybody say hello to them, and everybody say hello to the guests. Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone.
All right. So what we're going to do today is before we get started with a lot of questions regarding training and things that people find on the internet to learn SAS or other syntax, let's first introduce our guests and let's start with Sumayya. Sumayya, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing with training and where you are in the world today.
Myself, Sumayya Asraf. Right now, I'm working as a SAS programmer and trainer at TechSage Software Solutions. Actually, soon after, I have done my master's in biotechnology. I have, joined in a reputed college in India as a biotechnology lecturer for 3 years. Then, I have moved to USA with my husband, after my marriage. Then I couldn't work there immediately. I didn't have work permit. So I learned SAS from there. I found, many opportunities there, in clinical. So then after my work permit, I got a different job, as a test evaluator at Kelly
Sure.
Services. Then since my teaching is my passion, then, I continued work as a, Excel trainer. Then, parallelly, I try to work as a SAS programmer also, online. Then like after coming back to India, I joined as a SAS programmer at Syncor Clincare Technology, that is in Bangalore. Then since my teaching is my passion, I trained, many employees there. Then 2015, I established a company that is TechSage Software Solution, where we are giving, many trainings, not only SAS, we are providing Excel, C++, many things.
Cool.
Then, after like around, I think 2016 end, I moved to Bahrain again with my husband, since my husband's job is keep moving. Then I got an opportunity in Bahrain Islamic Bank to train some employees there in SAS. Right now I'm in Dubai, after this COVID, again, my husband's project got, yeah. Right now, still I'm working as a programmer and trainer, online.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Yes.
And yes, I think one of the ways that we know about you or that I know about you is that via Facebook,
Yes.
you do offer your training there and you're working to find students. And so this will be useful to help them hear about you and what are the things that you've learned or seen with your experience with training. So let's go next with Samir. Samir, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi. Before I start, I would just like to say, please let me know if I'm not clear if my voice is not clear. I'll try to do some fixes. All right. So here I am. My name is Samir, and I have somewhere 9+ years of experience working working in data science field. So as of now, I'm kind of full stack developer in data science. So I have been working with SAS application for last 7 years, maybe 7 years. I mean, it all went through self-learning. I didn't do any institutional training, and I didn't go for any certification as well. So I'm not SAS certified. It's all on myself. So so after working for such a long period of time, last year in lockdown itself, when I was in South Africa, I'm working with with a multinational consulting firm. So I keep on visiting from places to places. So last year when I was in South Africa, I had to move from there in July back to India. So I was in quarantine. I was in quarantine because whenever you are traveling international, you have to spend some time in quarantine. So at that point of time, I was thinking, I mean, whenever I'm sitting alone, I keep on thinking, what is it that we should be doing differently, right? So I had my channel for quite a long time, but I was not putting the videos over there. And I keep on hearing from my friends, how do I, learn SAS, and how do I explore myself? How do I boost my skills? And the biggest challenge is going for SAS certification. it costs significant amount of fees, right, for certification. So it's not very simple for everybody, and it's not guaranteed that you're gonna clear that, right? So it becomes difficult. And that's what happened with me as well. So initially, when I started to learn, I was not very much aware that there is some kind of SaaS certification stuff. So I just saw my boss working in SaaS, and I said, boss, I also want to continue this. So he said, yeah, please go ahead and start learning, and I'll keep on giving you things. So that's how it happens. So I also starting something which could help to other aspirants like me, right? So for that reason only, I started to record the videos and put on YouTube. And when I started, I got a chance to interact with Kiran, and then we connected, and it was kind of good experience, right? I was not thinking that I would have a chance to interact with you people, right? The only goal I had in my mind is to provide the free learning to the aspirants who wish to explore. And for all of your wishes, it's doing good. I crossed 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 of watch hours on YouTube. So suddenly it's going good, right? And I'm getting good feedback from the audience. So this is how it is happening, and my goal is to keep it completely free. I will be posting the videos in risk domains. I'm completely in bank risk, financial sectors, and that is in risk domain. So I'll be uploading the videos on risk, and then data science, and then Python, and in all these things, right? So but for now it's SaaS, and I'll be looking forward to explore it more, and for the guidance from you all veterans.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. That's from my side.
Yep. Thank you for joining. So Kiran, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself too?
First of all, nice to hear about both of you guys. I worked close to 10 years in development. Most of my career was in development itself. From last couple of years itself, I've been doing teaching. And then from last couple of years, I've been doing small projects, not at a full length, but a small project and teaching aside. So I'm not exactly from IT background, right? So always to me, the problem solving part and understanding some nuances of computer science in the context of SaaS is always more interesting, because if you are not from proper IT background, you don't understand why, what is that, what is this, what is this. Even a word like what is a libname statement? Oh, this is something, a standard word or something like that, or I need to, what is libref? That itself used to confuse me a lot, because I can come back tomorrow and I can change that name and I can change everything. Why it is changing? Why it is not fixed? Because I'm from science background. We are like a lot of fixated on the principles. It's not like we change things often. In IT, things do change often, and there are a lot of things which are difficult to non-IT person. So I just keep on putting some problem solving, and most of the videos which I put on problem solving are somebody has asked me and I solved it, and I just put them on the YouTube. 90% of the videos are like that.
Yeah, that's one thing. So again, welcome, Kiran. And that's one thing that I've noticed about at least this group. Let me explain what we're going to do today in today's video for the purpose of the audience. I picked 3 people who are freelance trainers and are, familiar to us from like Facebook social media groups. And these trainers are typically just trying to share their knowledge. And in very many ways, that is like a user group mentality. That is the kind of person that I like to interact with, somebody who genuinely wants to just say, here's something I learned, try it yourself. And so that's a good group for me to ask the next questions, because the people that I believe should be listening to this recording or to this media are people who want training and don't understand exactly what they're going to get. So these are students who could be anywhere in the world. They could be professionals who are trying to shift their career. They could be, what the term is called freshers or newbies, right? That they're just coming out of college or maybe going into college and think they're going to have a data science or a career, and it involves some analytic software. So my questions are going to be what a user, a student would ask you, the trainers. So one by one, I'm going to put the question out there, and one by one, I want everybody's opinion kind of short so we can keep the session reasonably comfortable for everybody. But what training should users be looking for, right? So if I'm a student, if I'm trying to learn, what would allow me to understand that your training or somebody's training is maybe more reliable or maybe better than some other training? What should I be looking for and what should I be avoiding is the question. So let's start with, let's say, Kiran first.
So that is what you are actually indirectly doing, Zeke. That is authenticity of the person. For me, that is the number one. I know now Samir has those many videos. Samir can teach good. I know Sumayya has so much experience and she has some videos. I know she can teach good. I can go to any one of them, right? Without knowing authenticity of the person, it is always a big problem, right?
Got it.
Coming to the aspect of what you want to learn, what is the learning curriculum, that comes into a totally different picture. But the first intention is I want to know who the person is, right?
Okay, that's pretty good advice. Sumayya, he mentioned you, so maybe you're next. What do you think?
Yeah, that is true, because most of the candidates, like comes to me, they usually say, yeah, ma'am, actually she referred, like that is the reason I'm here. So I'm very happy. Many of the students from Paraxel, Bangalore and Quintals have taught many, 500, 600 plus candidates already. So many of the students, I normally don't put advertisement anywhere, like it's very, like they usually see my Facebook profile and LinkedIn profile. And I've trained, some of the corporates as well. So many of the HR, knows me. So they usually refer, you can go to Sumayya. So that's how, see, when I had a baby, like I was like, enjoying my working, because I can keep, my time track. And my husband was like, you can come anywhere, wherever I go. So that's a good thing. And I usually take an opportunity to work in project also, so that, we can see the issues. And when we take the training, we can tell them, we see, when we go for real scenario, it's a different thing, right? So as a trainer, we should understand the needs of the student, and they should be able to provide, resources as they require, not only during the training period. Sometimes, they will have issue when they are working, so as a friend, I usually support them. So that is the good thing. And apart from the course, they also, look for clear and effective training. The trainer must be able to communicate, everything. And see, not only through the subject, because training extends, we could extend the training, beyond from the syllabus, right? Sure. And see, data science is not only SAS, right? See, right, if you wanted to become a data scientist, you need to have a knowledge in Excel, you need to have a knowledge in Python. See, it's like, everything you need to mix it. So as a trainer, try to understand, other language, not, like not only SAS, you tell them, like, you after, we're learning SAS, you can try to learn, so and so courses, because some students, like when I get, I usually get beginners, intermediate, some are from, expert level. So it, see, I believe that, the topic should be, we are not like rushed, to the topic. Sure. So the trainer must be patient and calm. That is the first thing, like we need to understand, because some students, they will be able to follow very easily. Some students, they take time, that doesn't mean that they will not be able to learn.
Right.
No,
right.
They can learn, that is what, I usually give the priority. And yes, that's what some of the students, they say, when they call me, they will ask, can I learn SAS? I'm not from, mathematical background. I usually tell them, I'm from biotechnology background, now I'm here. You can, anybody can achieve anything, if you have a dedication. So that is what.
Yeah, well, I usually tell people I know the worst math, and if I can do this, anybody can do this. So,
right.
All right, Samir, what do you think? Training, what should users be looking for, or right, what should they be avoiding?
Yeah, hi, thanks, JK. Now, so yes, before I start, like one common thing which I found over here, I'm not sure about yours, JK, but in three of us, we all do not have any technical background. Of course, Sumayya is from biotechnology. I'm not sure how technical is that in terms of computer and all, but yes, all of myself is economics honors, followed by an MBA. Right, so I'm also not from technical background. So it all started from Excel, then VBA, then SQL, then SAS, then Python, and all Tableau and everything. Right.
Okay, so wait. I have to interrupt you. You have to understand. I understood what you just said, and I acknowledge what you said. But I'm telling you, relax, because that whole thing that you don't have a technical background, I don't have a college degree. I don't have a math background. Yes, I have a technical background. I mean, you're telling me in a way, in a humble way of like, oh, I don't have this, we don't have this, and I'm telling you, I learned SAS after doing stuff in Lotus 1-2-3, then in Excel, then I learned SAS, and then things started, to kick in. And in a little while, we're going to talk about certification. Not yet, but we're going to get there. But I just want the three of you and many other people who are watching this. I don't care what background you come from. I don't think it should matter. And I don't care that if you're a young woman or a young boy, or, if you're in certain parts of the world that are economically challenged. My parents were immigrants. I was born here. I have had a bunch of economic challenges, and I was almost into gangs. I mean, you name it, it was up against me, and I'm still kind of doing okay. So for the three of you, you're doing great. Okay. So let's just put that into
Yeah,
perspective. It's fine.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much, JK, for keeping it on the point. It's just why I thought of mentioning this, so that I could tell the learners that if you do not have any strong background, relax, don't worry. Like you said, still you can do much better than what I am doing. Right. So yeah. So when like if I put myself in the shoe of a person who wants to learn something and explore something, what I would like to do now, because today the things have changed from physical, it has moved to digital, right? So everything, like abundance of things are available on over the internet, right? So if I'm the student and if I try to learn the things, first thing, I would not prefer to join any physical classroom, because what happens when no offense to the people who are providing the physical classroom, to the audience who provide any of the audience who provides the physical classroom, I just want to make sure. So I would not prefer to go for the physical classroom, because once I am enrolled in some courses, I feel like one teacher cannot explain everything in the same way he explains any of the topic, right?
Yeah.
He might have expertise in something but lack on some other point. But when we are learning online, so let's say if someone started my tutorial, I explained X, I explained Y very well. When I explained Z, the audience find, no, it's not good, right? I'm not able to understand it. He has the option and he has the full power to just switch off this thing and start try to learn this Z thing from other channel, right? So that's the power this digital thing is providing to the audience. So yeah, this is what I would like to suggest to my audience. Look, if you are planning to learn, first of all, do not think about your background. Second, many of the audience try to see the ratings and the recommendations. That is good. I won't say that it's not good, but many of the places those are paid. Those are rated by the paid audience, right? So be aware of those things as well, right? So what I would say, yeah, what I would say, explore as many as possible, right? But do not wait that once you're done with exploration, then only you will start. First thing, you should have very good domain, you should have good control of what you are doing. Then start learning this as or whatever you want to learn, and try to connect that thing with the work which you do on daily basis in your profile, in your job profile. Try to connect that, and that's how you would learn as much as possible. And certainly there are some awesome tutorials, like I have seen the videos from Kiran. I really love the way you explain. I'm really sorry I couldn't had a chance to watch the video, Sumayya and JK, yours. So yeah, those are certainly those worth paying money, right? I'm not sure if mine. I absolutely, that's I mean, I keep myself free for training, but yes, Kiran, your videos are really nice. Yes, I would rather say.
So let me kind of summarize that whole concept. I do think that, in my own opinion, and I don't want to bias the listeners or change your opinions, but I think there's a benefit of both. I totally agree with you, Samir, in that there's a lot of free and open available internet learning. And I think users should be looking at doing everything they can for free and then seeing what they need to do in person. So one of the reasons why I'm okay with in person, but I agree with you, Samir, I'm probably 50-50. Okay, if you want to look at my perspective, I'm 50-50. One of the reasons I agree with in person is there's a better interaction if I have a good trainer. The online material can, if it's a class, can cover 8 hours of great resources, and I can learn, like you said, from A to Z. But it goes back to something Sumayya said. There's sometimes this domain stuff right on the side that's not covered by something that's been recorded. It's something more nebulous. It's something about a specific case, a specific example. Um, you know, uh, Something that occurs once in a while, and that is sometimes invaluable. Those are sometimes important, but they come with time. They come with experience. So I know both of you, Kiran and Sumayya, wanted to say something. Let's let Kiran go real quick because I think his finger is about to go boom.
What Samir said is very good, but there is one problem. That problem I have faced by myself. I have tried to complete close to 300 courses in last 6 to 7 years. I barely completed 16 or 17 courses. With so much material, people like me, sometimes I have like very low focus. I go here, oh, this looks awesome. After one chapter, I go to somewhere else. So somewhere else, then there is one, the resources are so many is also becoming another problem. Okay, today I want to see Samir's. Again, Sumayya's video comes, Sumayya's, and I don't completely listen to Samir, or I completely don't listen to Sumayya. That problem I'm faced, at least I can say that.
Well, and I think that's the difference, right? If it's online, you can come back to it anytime if you decide to come back to it. But if you paid for a class and you're in person, if you paid for it and you miss a class, it's over. So there's something about that commitment, right? That
no, not only that, Zeke, see, last week I completed one training. Okay, he is working here in Mashrik Bank as a manager. Okay, and he is good in SAS, and he just want to complete the certification, and he got a new project. Then I asked him, why you came, to me for the training? You have good knowledge, than me, I believe, because he's having 17 years of experience, not only in SAS, excellent. And he was like, Sumayya, there are many videos, and documents, to refer. I know that I can learn from that. But the thing is, there is a lack of time. He was like, he pointed some procedures, like PROC report and PROC tabulate. These are all the things, I want to learn from you. And I told them, and he was very happy with that. And he gave me a good feedback, From there, the thing I understood is, the reason those students approach me is because, they want to learn SAS in a more defined manner. In a way, the Google or external documents, have not been, helped them. So he was telling me, Sumayya, within 2 weeks, I learned many things and I started applying, I got a feedback, yesterday evening. So that is a good thing.
And I think that's true. I think,
yeah.
But that is coming from, like what you said, this person has many years of experience, and then they just need some final refinement understanding.
Yes.
All right. So next question. And this one I think we're going to tackle carefully, but it's about myths. So if a student or a potential student comes to you, or Samir, in your case, if you're hearing friends, colleagues, or people asking you, I think there's a lot of myths. I think people think, number one, let's start with the number of myths. So let's start with the popular myths. SAS is expensive to learn. Probably yes, probably no, but we're going to talk about that in a second. The next one is, should I get certified? And after I get certified, I'm going to be a rock star and get all sorts of jobs. And the next one is, if I get this training, I'm going to be great and it's going to make my career awesome overnight, right? Those are kind of some of the myths that I see. And then the next one is, I just got into college. I just finished college. I need this SAS training. And after this SAS training, I'm ready for any job. And why am I not getting hired, right? Those are kind of the myths that I see floating around social media groups. So let's start with the first one. They finish a class or they finish a training. Why isn't their career going anywhere? It was a myth. They fell for it, right? Now suddenly they're not. What's going on? What do you see? What do you hear about that myth? Sumayya, Kiran, who wants to go first?
Let ladies go first, or Samir go first.
See, the thing is, some students, they just come for the training. It's something like, they might have heard from someone, SAS is good in the market, I can earn money, after learning SAS immediately. the reality is not like that, right? It's something like, they need to, understand the concept, and they need to work in a good project. They need to explore more. And there are, the lucky candidates, they can reach, in heights, it depends, So it's like, it's not like, after learning SaaS, we can earn more money, so they need to, go for, learning some other, tools and some other, the thing is, they need to work in SaaS and they need to have a good experience, then eventually they can, and some people, they will have a thing that, they say SaaS is just a tool to analyze the data. SaaS can analyze, data it's nothing like that. They need to understand the fundamentals, the statistics and everything, then only they will be able to work and, understand the concept, and then in the career level, they need to reach, the better level.
Cool.
So these all are the myth,
Samir, what do you think?
Yeah, hi, thanks. So there are a couple of things. Number one, certification. Number two, learning. If you want to learn, right, learning and certification, according to me, those are two different things. But ultimate goal is to get a good job, good profile, right? So you can go through SaaS certification as well as self-learning. What happens with SaaS certification? I'm not sure about the people who did SaaS certification, cleared the SaaS certification, but couldn't get a job. To be honestly, I didn't meet any people. As a matter of fact, I also met very few people who did SaaS certification and working as a SaaS analyst, right? But yeah, who did the SaaS certification, certainly they are somewhere. As much as I have seen the people, I'm not saying that this is the fact. There could be possibility who did SaaS certification but couldn't get a job. Number two, who are learning SaaS but not going for the SaaS certification. How difficult is it for them to get into a role? Yes, certainly I find that it is difficult over there, because what happens if I start learning a new technology and if I don't get a chance to walk into that, to work on practical things in my job, I start to forget those things, right? So this is very important. When you are learning any tool, it is important that you start applying those things in your daily work, right? So it is so yeah, so this is what I think. So if we talk about the myth that if I do the SaaS, if I learn SaaS, I will get a very good, I'll become a rock star and I'll get a very good opportunity. I 100% agree that it's the things does not works like this, right? If you're learning it at your own, it's little more difficult. If you are learning through certification, it can be relatively simpler, but it's not that just after learning this you are going to become a rock star. When you learn that, it is important that you apply, on the practical things. If you are not getting a chance to apply that in your official job, in your office, try to join some free things, like provide free consultancy, do the internship, and like JK, you keep on providing so many opportunities I have seen. So that's really a good platform for the new learners. Yeah, this is what my opinion is.
Cool. No, that's pretty good stuff. Kiran, what do you think?
So I don't think this is related to SaaS itself. Anything you learn, you can't get a job anyway, right? So how are you different? Okay, there are 20 people who have learned SaaS. How Zeke is different, how Kiran is different. There is a way to showcase your what do you say, your learning, right? So I tell many people one straightforward thing. Okay, you learn 20 things. Now show me that you are good at it and you have applied it somewhere. So so one thing I would suggest to many people is take a publicly available data sets. Sometimes you may not get job, you may not get anything, and make a report or do something. Take 5 data sets. Whatever you have learned, apply that and post it on your Git page. This is important because if you want to stand out, you have to show what you can do for any organization, right?
Yeah.
That is one. And the second one I would suggest to them is to develop their network. This is irrespective of SaaS or anything. You always have to showcase your talent. Otherwise, nobody cares. That's my personal opinion.
No, so I agree. And the way that I would summarize it for the listeners and the viewers of this is there's so many people looking for jobs right now. It is so competitive that it is important to, in an economical way, to you, the listener, try and stand out. If you can take training to reinforce something that you're learning, take it. That's if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, do everything you can for free, right? You don't want to put yourself in debt, especially if you don't have a new job lined up. Most employers will pay for training, so maybe that's great. But then you have a job, so then, you know, maybe you're not looking or maybe you are looking. But the next part is the part about certification. And I get this question a lot. Should I get certified? I think that's on a case-by-case basis, and I tend to agree with all three of the panelists here that it is part of whatever situation you're in and whatever needs you have to stand out against the competition. So whether you're a newbie or whether you're a seasoned person with years of experience, you might need to get your certification just so that you're not bumped off of a competitive roster for a job because 5 other people have certification. However, that doesn't mean you won't get selected or you won't see your resume go further, your CV go further. I think a certification is case by case. And I would say that if there's a financial issue with you getting your certification or a time economic issue, meaning you can't dedicate the time to get your certification, it's not the end of the world. But I think what's important is that you understand the risks of certification are less unless you start going out to finding all sorts of crazy sites that promise something about certification and doesn't deliver. Now you've just wasted your time, right? So that ties into the next myth. What myth causes problems for users, for students? In other words, I think there's a lot of this idea of take this certification dump, or SAS is too expensive, or to learn SAS, it's going to cost you too much money. I don't know that that's the truth, but I want to hear from my panelists first. You know, what I want to say to the users is this is the part where I've been trying to explain on the social media sites that chances are if you're getting something for cheap or for free, there's a risk. It could be malware, viruses, or just old questions. They could be pointless. But I want to hear from the trainers. I want to hear from my panelists. What do you think of that myth that, oh, get the certification dumper here, download this software, download this, download that? What about those myths? Sumayya, you're shaking your head a little bit there. What do you think?
Many of the candidates, when they approach me, they will ask me the first question because they have to pay me as well and for the certification as well, right? So the thing is, because many of the candidates, right, they are freshers, they have to take money from their parents. So working people are different, they can reimburse the money from the company, that's a different thing, they don't. And they will ask me like, is the certification is mandatory? Then I say, when you go for the interview, it depends. If it is a walk-in, there are many companies in Bangalore, they do that, if they have certification, they filter out. So, but, there are some cases, if they go for, the interview, this will be an advantage, but that is not the end of the, thing, once they go for the interview, if they are good at, technical thing and technical written test, if they can score marks, especially for the freshers in Bangalore, most of the companies, they conduct technical written test. So I also, normally conduct the technical written test after my training, then I can understand, see, I have many example in my friend, without certification, they have, entered into the job, and after 1 year or 2 year, they have done the certification, they come to me, like again, it's like, Sumayya, do you have any questions, like just wanted to go through, because while doing the work, they don't use all the procedures, all the functions, right? So they just come for the just for the brush up, they come. Sometimes I charge for them, sometimes I don't charge for them. It may be 1 hour or 2 hour, I can just brush up everything and I can provide them the questions and everything. And even if they want for the mock test, I usually conduct that. And if I say, if they score, 90 above, I'm sure they will be able to score. None of my candidates, failed as of now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Kiran, what do you think?
Again, I will give you unpopular or what I feel like it is right. So in last 10 years of career, not a single person asked me about any certification. I can show you that I have unloads of certifications, but None of them anybody asked. Last few years, I've stopped even taking courses. I just now solve only the new problems and all those kind of things. I personally, I will never take any candidate based on certification. For me, how you can solve a particular problem, what you can do for me. That's it. I really, for me, really, it is not the judging point, because when you are talking about the dumps and all that, I'm seeing some people getting tough time to get job with certifications also, because their certification is based on some lie.
Yeah, it's based on what you can memorize, right? So
And as you said, dumps and all those things, right? If you are doing on the basis, you're obviously you can't crack an interview. Nowadays, no interview is easy. They are telling you to code directly by sharing the screens. And then you have to put the code in.
yeah, I agree. Samir, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, there are things, right? When I see from the perspective of an applicant, I certainly have noticed people struggling to land in a good position if they do not have the certification. I'm sorry, but I'm sharing what I have seen, right?
There's no,
If
wait, let me
there,
stop you right there. There's no right or wrong answer. I don't
yeah,
want anybody to apologize for what you believe. You don't need to do that, because I brought you here so we can hear the differences, not so we can all be on the same page. So please
right.
debate this.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So, coming back to the point, so I have seen the people. Like, if there is one guy who joined some institution for 2 or 3 months, and did some course and appeared in the certification, cleared that, they are easily landing to some good job profile. But a person who is learning SaaS for last 6 months but just not getting an opportunity, he had to do a lot of efforts, right, to land to a SaaS profile. He has to put his I mean, what do I say? I don't have a specific word. I mean, he has to struggle a lot. That's what I can say. Now, when it comes to me, if I have to hire someone for SaaS work, what would I like to prefer? So I love the concept which is given by Elon Musk, right? It's not necessary. Degree is not necessary for me. If someone is coming to me for a job, I'll give him or her some couple of questions. I'll ask them to code this thing. Look, this is what I need for my job, right, to get the things done for me. If you can do it, you are hired. Be it you have certification, you don't have certification, you are going to get the same package. That's it. Yeah, so this is what my opinion is.
Okay, no, and I think I agree with everybody. I think, to me, my summarization of it is case by case. I you know, in full disclosure, back in 2018 or 2019, I got my certification again in base SaaS, only to prove that you could get certified without paying money. Now, I want to caution that I did pay for the certification test, right? Whatever that was, $100, whatever it was on promotion. But I kept seeing posts in social media that I need to pay for certification training. I need to pay for this. I need to pay for that. I went and I found various places that were safe URLs and free, and just practiced. Of course, I know SaaS, but I mean, I had to practice for the test. And then I just went and took the test. But I made a choice not to spend any money and not to do excessive time loss, because I wanted to show new users, freshers, that it's possible. And so that message is to me, to everybody, that it is possible to get your certification testing with your own effort, low risk, low finance money put out. You don't have to pay for stuff. It's out there. It's available. So my next question to my panelists, we have a few more, is what do you think from this type of session? And you can all answer differently, or you can all follow up on each other. But if you could give one or two bits of advice that are important for a student, a fresher, a newbie, somebody who's listening to this to have, what is the most important piece of advice you want them to have as they take back from this? And so let's start with Kiran right now.
Okay. My my advice is same for any student who is learning, and this will be always my first class also. So I will teach you a topic that is not me teaching, but they can listen to Samir's video, or I teach a topic, listen to me or listen to that. It does not matter. But you have 3 other resources which you have to use, especially if you don't have an experience. The first one, communities.sas.com. Say, for example, you are reading about array, right? I will give an example saying that, okay, array means this. You need to go into communities.sas.com and see how many problems exist there. At least look into 5 or 6. There are some top-notch people in communities.sas.com, and they solve those problems, and people ask. This does 2 things. One, you learn the real-time scenarios, what people are having trouble with. You also learn what experts are saying, right? Do that. And also, equivalent to that, there is a Stack Overflow, but communities.sas.com is enough. And then one topic, if you want to go a little bit detailed, go to lexjansen.com and type that out and learn it. One topic, go deep, 1 day, 2 day, move on, do the same thing, move on. By the time you reach a month or so, you will be very good with many topics. That is what I would suggest.
Yeah, that's good advice. Samir, what would you say you want someone to take back from this session?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I really like the way Kiran put the things over here, right? It was really nice, right? I mean, you just have to join the community and you explore them, in my opinion. So, if someone wants to start learning, start today. So, the first thing, start today. Stop thinking a lot, start today. Number 2, like Kiran suggested, joins the communities, right? So that you could get an environment. When we are learning anything, environment is very important, very important. If I don't have environment, I would learn the things and I'll forget on the double speed, right? The speed on what I'm learning something, on the double speed I'll forget the thing. So environment is very important. Third thing, a third thing depends. Why do you want to learn? Do you want to learn for a job? Do you want to become an expert, right? What is it? So if you want to learn to get a job quickly, you have to cover as many topics as possible, right? As many topics as possible, because you have to land in a job, and when you are going for interview, you are not sure what is it that interview is going to ask, right? So you have to find a curriculum which is best suited for your role, right? And learn as many topics as you want. Get some good instruction, get some good curriculum, and learn as many topics, rather becoming there's a saying, like someone is jack of something, but John, I don't remember exactly it, but yeah, it is said that rather what I want to say, rather being an expert in one single thing, try to cover as many things as you can, because you have to go for the interview. If you want to become a if you want to start something like kind of self-entrepreneur, I'm not sure if that is a good word to say, but yes, if you want to start something at your own, it's really good to get the depth knowledge of that. Yeah, so this is what my opinion is.
Okay, cool. Sumayya, what do you think?
Yeah, 90% of students, when they approach, they maybe, looking for the job, see, the thing is, then once they come for the training, I usually tell them, whatever the thing I teach, you need to relate with real scenario. Then when they ask any questions in the interview, you will be able to answer to the, specific to that question. Because if they learn only for the theoretical purpose, they won't be able to answer anything. So when I, cover a topic, you need to refer the books. I normally, provide even Little Sass and the Laura, that Ron Cody's, these 3 books, I normally provide them, and I will tell them, you pick whichever the book you prefer, like in learning SAS by example, you can see many practical oriented questions, because SAS is not like a theoretical, it's like practically they need to understand everything, right? And I usually tell them, you come with different problems to me, I will solve, don't worry, if not in a class, you can message me through WhatsApp or Facebook, whenever I get time, I will message you back. So I usually tell them, like when you are coming for the training, keep 1 month or 2 months, only for the training. And because some students, when they come, and they say, Sumayya, are you flexible for the timing? Then, I say, I'm flexible, but, at the same time, you need to find the time to, what to do the lab work. Then only you will be able to, get something from the training.
Sure.
So that's what I usually tell them.
Thank you. So I want to ask a question here as we start to wrap up, which is clearly you, my panel today, are in different parts of the world, right? And so that means that your students can come from different parts of the world. So that also implies that there's this difference of pricing. And so I want to kind of set the stage for the people that are watching this. I could have invited a big corporation that focuses on training, but that wasn't the panelist of trainers that I had in mind for today. I was reaching out to trainers who I would use the term freelance trainers. And these are trainers who are either doing for pay or for free offerings to students via social media groups that we frequent together. And so I'm not trying to be disparaging to the bigger corporations because they focus on a kind of a corporate and kind of like a higher priced echelon tier of training. But that isn't to be disparaging to this panelist or to those types of trainers. But it is purposeful to mention that and preface that because I think there's a different tier of pricing. And so I committed to my panelists that I wasn't going to get into the specifics of what their classes are or what their pricing are. But I think it's important for the students and the listeners to hear the idea of, for certain types of training, these are the ranges of acceptable pricing. And the reason why I'm prefacing it that way is because I'm trying to prepare and protect the consumer. I'm trying to prepare and protect the students. And so I will acknowledge that my panelists have been prefaced about this question to answer what they feel is fair. And I can't and I won't put them on the spot, but I'm asking them on behalf of students and people who wish to consider this type of training option. What is a fair price range and what should somebody get? What should somebody avoid, right? And what are some tips regarding pricing? What can you tell from pricing? What can you share about pricing that would help the students protect themselves? So Kiran, you raised your hand. What can you share with us about that?
The pricing concept is more complicated than what is just you're talking about, because the reason being the number of people you pick. Depending upon, you can have a sale, right? So if a person like me, if he gets 5 students, I say, for example, I charge some $300 for a course. Somebody is charging $100 for the same course. I have 5 students, he has 15 students. I'm also talking in the context of earning money also. It is not just about it's just about education, but I'm talking also about money. So the range is same. Both of them are getting the same money, right? That is why in the very beginning, my context of telling the importance of the things comes to who the person is, what he could train. Like, say, for example, Sumayya is there. I know some SAS person said, tomorrow I don't teach. I will send it to Sumayya because I know she can teach good. She has a profile. The money aspect is a very dicey thing, especially when you come to go back to a developing country or any other countries. It becomes very, very dicey with the freelance training kind of thing. I really don't know whether putting the numbers out makes any important sense also.
No, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. To me, I want to ask the question, right? Because students will eventually message me and say, why didn't you ask? You have a great group of people. Why didn't you ask this question? I'd rather just ask the question and see what answers we can get. Sumayya, what do you think?
Yeah, Kiran is absolutely true, because if we have a group, we can yeah, do that. But there will be, obviously be many expertise from their own country. They are very knowledgeable and knowledgeable in the subject, and yet the students are approaching the trainer like us are mainly because of cost in the training, right? So because they are looking for cost effective. So I started my training in India, SAS training. So I have a budget. So it's not like since they are calling from US, I can make more money. It's nothing like that. Definitely I can slight change I can make it, since because of the time zone we have to sit early in the morning, we have to compromise something. So slight change, some like some 2-3% we can increase, or up to 10% we can increase. That is okay compared to like their whatever they pay there, they can afford. And they will, and sometimes students are like they tell me, Sumayya, can you, because can you make it little bit? So I am ready to do that. If they are they are not eligible to pay, they are not ready to pay, or they cannot pay, that is the right word, they cannot pay. Some people are coming from poor family, and they say, because some people they tell the lies also, that I know, I have experience. So we need to figure out, like we need to find the right candidate. And there are some running batch we can put there, where the all training is already going on. That is also one thing we can do it, as a part of good humanity, I can say.
Cool. Thank you. Samir, what do you think?
JK, to be honest, I heard my panelists, but I do not have any much idea about this fee structure because neither I have paid nor I'm charging to anyone.
You're giving it all away, yeah.
I'm really sorry for that.
So maybe you're learning about how to charge things, right? So
yes, exactly.
So
I'm not sure which I'll be doing this.
So I just wanted to add one more thing. I don't know where I generally forget things fairly quickly. So I just wanted to add, if you were asking in the very beginning what student should look for. Student should ask in detail a trainer what syllabus you are going to cover. Can you give me some more information to what depth you can cover? The student or the person who is coming should also be little bit what do you say, acquainted with the certain topics.
sure.
And then to save himself, because I know many people, they have learned, they said, hey, they completed this in 15 days. I said, oh my god, I can never complete this in 3 months also, this much, right? So you need to ask the duration, how much deep it goes, what topics they cover, to what level they cover. You should ask any trainer. It doesn't mean me or anybody, but anyone. You have to ask. Don't just go by whatever they say, that I will give you this, I will give you placement, I'll give you this. All so many of those are obviously not right things. A freelancer programmer cannot get the placements everywhere, right? So if we know some people, we will suggest them, okay, I know my previous students are working here, I will push you here. That's a different thing. But just believing on that placement thing and all that, you are getting scammed to a very big level and you are not learning anything.
Yeah, I think that's true.
That is true, Kiran. See, many of the training centers, they assure them job. Even like same thing, like Kiran, I have placed, many students here and there. That is through my contact, and because of their ability also, because of the students' ability also. It's not like, I'm calling them and telling them my candidates are coming for the interview, nothing like that. If I see any opening, I usually refer, the candidates. There are many candidates they have placed. You can see my, LinkedIn. Those are, placed through me. But the thing is, it's not only because of my training, it's because of their effort and everything, they put it, in the learning perspective.
So then let me ask it this way. If I see a advertisement that says 100% placement, should that make me suspicious?
100%. Nobody cannot give 100% placement.
I know, but I'm seeing the advertisement, so, right?
The advertisement is also there is a dicey. You have to be very careful about. They will add one more word: placement assistance.
There you go. Right.
So that's a kind of a small white lie. You can't catch it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great, but that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, session with you as my experts is because I think that a lot of listeners, I would have made that mistake. I would have seen that advertisement and said, wow, 100% placement. And then I wouldn't have seen the assistance, right? In my mind, I'm already getting a job and cashing my check and going to go buy a new car, and this is going to be great, and I'm going to get certified right after that. I mean, that's what I see when I see that I'm a fresher. I'm a newbie. That's me. I see that, right? And the training, and I'm going to go borrow the money, and that's I'm excited now, right? So you're saying something that I think is important for people to hear.
And
All
one more
right.
thing, some of the candidates, when they come for the training, they ask, will you do job support after when I get a job? Then I was like, once you get a job, why you need a job support? You can do it. You can do it your own, if we agree, then we have to be, committed for that, right? So,
Yeah.
and that also some training centers, they say, yeah, we do the job support, we give the job, everything they will do it. Then, I don't know what is the point of, taking training.
I had a conversation with somebody where I said the reason they advertise like that is because they know the person's going to get the job and get fired, and now they know who to refer for the job placement assistance.
True.
Every time they come for job support, they come a few times and they're going to get fired.
True. Yeah.
Because they didn't learn anything. So. Well, listen, I want to thank all three of you for participating in this, and I hope that our listeners find it helpful. I found it helpful. I'm sure that they will. I'm sure we'll keep interacting out there in social media. I'm going to make sure that your links to your LinkedIn profiles are found in the bottom of this YouTube video. Is there anything you want to close with as we say bye to everybody? So we'll start one by one. Sumayya, thank you for joining us. Do you want to say bye to everybody?
Thank you for inviting us to.
Yep. Kiran?
2-3 more sentences.
Sure.
Here. One, be prepared to go to trainer. No, I'm just reiterating what I have told. Know who the trainer is. Ask him what he is going to train. Don't get scammed.
Yep.
2, just because you took a training from any person, you are not going to become self-sufficient. SAS itself provides resources. Please use them. Like I have said about communities.sas.com, where you can pick up from others' experiences. These two I wanted to tell. That's all from me.
Awesome. Samir?
Yeah, just I would just like to wish my audience all the very best, and thank you to all the panelists. If you want, and to the audience, if you want to learn something, today is the day. Just start it. Don't think a lot. Just start it. Wish you good luck. All the best. Bye bye.
Awesome. So let's all wave bye. Thank you so much for everybody for joining.
Bye bye. Bye JK. Bye Kiran. Bye Sumayya.